What's going on, everyone? This is Erik from Full Mind MMA, and today I am joined by UFC lightweight Renato Moicano, who will be fighting Jai Herbert on June 26th. Renato, how are you?
I'm very good, and you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
Nice.
Jumping right into it here. You're about 10 days out from the fight as we're talking right now. Just generally, how are you feeling? How has training camp been going? Has it all been going smooth?
Yeah, everything was great. Very good training camp at American in Florida, and I feel great. I cannot wait for the fight. 10 days.
That's great to hear. I know we're all very excited about it. Jai Herbert as an opponent, he's kind of new to the UFC, just one fight. I guess, what do you make of him as an opponent? Maybe the skills that he has, areas that you might have to watch out for. What do you think about him?
Yeah, of course. He's a good fighter. He was, I don't remember the promotion, but a big promotion outside the UFC champion 2 times. Maybe the Cage Rage or something.
The Cage Warriors?
Cage Warriors, yeah. And he has really good skills, and he's really tall, well-rounded guy, and he has just one fight, one loss in UFC, but he lost to Trinaldo, who is a very, very game opponent. So I don't take anything from him. He is a good fighter, and we're gonna see who is the best in June 26th.
Yeah, definitely. And the UFC hasn't been doing you any favors with matchmaking. You've been facing a lot of tough opponents recently. Because of that, some of the fights haven't necessarily gone your way. Is there any more pressure on you to win this fight now because of your recent losses?
No, not at all. I fight for myself. So back in the day, I used to, especially on that Aldo fight, when I fought Jose Aldo, I was thinking a lot about Brazil and people, what would people think? But right now I become to think like in my early days in my MMA career. I am fighting for myself, So it's not about the public, it's not about UFC, it's not about the media or even the fans, It's about what I love to do. And what I love to do is go to the cage and compete against the best. So UFC didn't do me wrong, not wrong. Like you say, every time they offer me like tough fighters, and that's what I like. That's what I love about UFC. You cannot hide, you cannot protect yourself. You have to face the best, and that's why I am in the UFC. And Jai Herbert is a good fighter, and I'm happy to fight against him.
That's awesome. And of course, you recently moved up to lightweight. This is going to be your third fight at 155 pounds. I guess just because I never asked you about this personally, why did you decide to move up to lightweight? And more importantly, do you feel a lot better at lightweight?
Yeah, man. I am really tall too. So I am 5'11", and it was getting hard to make the 45. And maybe this is affecting in my performance. So I talk a lot with my coaches, and we decide that will be the best option, And as a lightweight, I have one loss and one win, and the win was in 30-40 seconds or something like that. And it's really hard move up and submit a guy like that for a guy who never had been submitted. And my loss was against Fiziev, and Fiziev is a great striker, and I got too comfortable fighting him at striking game, So sometimes I'm just dumb, but I hope I am getting better at this, But I feel like the lightweight is my new division, and I feel really good about cutting weight and going fight.
Do you think that that's something that all fighters in your position should do, that they should all be moving up and maybe competing closer to their natural weight? I know we always talk about how dangerous weight cutting is, but do you think that that's something more fighters should look into doing?
I don't really know, it depends on each one, because some people feel good about, like Khabib. I think Khabib lose a lot of weight, but doesn't affect him too much because he's more of a grappler, so he doesn't need I think the weight cut affects more strikers. That's what I think, because if you see in other combat sport like boxing and kickboxing and Muay Thai, they don't cut that amount of weight that we do in MMA. And I think because if you cut a lot of weight, you get you get like you lost your speed, your timing, your reaction, you know. And for wrestlers, this is not a huge problem because they're gonna grab you, you know. So and I think MMA was designed to have like the grappling and more, and we adapted this from wrestling, like the cut weight. So I feel like if you are really strong and you cut a lot of weight and you are a grappler, this is not the problem. The problem is if you are a really good striker who rely on your striking, and maybe the timing is not there, you know, maybe you cut too much weight. And we could see that we can see that in boxing, you know, they don't cut a lot of weight and they are more agile and they have speed, you know. So depends on which one.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that take before. And I wanted to ask you about this. Obviously, your new weight class, 155, has a new champion as well, Charles Oliveira, fellow Brazilian. I kind of wanted to get your reaction to seeing that fight. I know a lot of people were surprised that somebody, you know, who's been in the UFC for so long, who's lost a lot of fights before, had came back and could win the title like that. Were you surprised to see that?
Yes, I was, you know, because like you say, actually he was a star in Brazil, you know. He was a big name in Brazil even before the UFC. Everybody was watching him, you know, because he had a really good win streak, and he went to the UFC in the first fight and he was doing good, and he started to losing a couple fights, you know, against way bigger guys, and he had problems cutting weight. But since he got back to the 55, he is doing great, you know. You cannot take anything from him, you know. And he just beat Chandler in a manner that I was not expecting. He was knocking him out. So I think Charles it's a really good case, like that case in MMA, that because we don't see that in many other combat sports. No, a guy who loses and learned from his mistakes and got even better, and right now he is the best in the 55. I think is the most competitive division in the MMA world. Mm-hmm. So I feel much happy for him. You know, I feel really happy for him, and especially from his backgrounds and for his beginnings. He was really poor. And I feel really happy when I see people who doesn't have nothing, by his own sacrifice, by his own skills, and now he has everything. You know, he's the best of the world.
Yeah, it really was an awesome story to see. I guess, does that give, you know, does that motivate you even more that, you know, you don't have nearly as many losses as Oliveira does, but just, you know, just having a couple of recent losses that you can eventually make your way to the top, you know, pretty quickly, possibly.
Yeah, of course, but I'm not thinking about that. You know, I don't, like I said before, right now I just focus on what I have to do. I'm not like, of course I got motivated because of that, you know, because I say, oh, if he can do, I can do too, because, but I think every fighter is like that, you know. I think I can beat everybody, you know, even Khabib. I really believe I can beat Khabib and Charles and everybody, you know. So I just want to keep going and don't make the same mistakes. I have to go better in little things, and that's what I am doing, you know. And I hope you guys gonna see a whole new Renato Moicano on June 26th.
Let's go. I'm very excited for it. Of course, it's going to be back in the UFC Apex, so no crowd, unfortunately. But what was your reaction to seeing the crowds in the past few pay-per-views? Have you been watching? Is that exciting to see?
Man, I was in the first event in Jacksonville, Masvidal and Usman, and it was amazing. I had forgot about how intense and crazy was to be in a crowd, you know, because all that COVID thing in the pandemic, we didn't have the opportunity to go to stadiums and stuff like that. And when I saw that crowd chanting and cheering for the fighters, I mean, man, I need that. This is what motivates us, you know. And it was great to watch on on the UFC Jacksonville, and even in the pay-per-view, you can see there is a different atmosphere. You know, it's really good to see the people get back on the stadiums.
It is. It's really exciting. You know, wrapping things up here, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw this earlier today when I was doing research for this interview. You have your own YouTube channel and a podcast that you started. This is something that a lot of fighters, they're starting their own podcast. They like to, you know, get their own word out there, get their own media going. Why did you decide to start podcasting? And could you tell us a little bit about it?
Man, because I always watched the Joe Rogan podcast, and that was the way that I learned English. You know, I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because in the beginning I didn't speak in English when I got here, and because Joe Rogan, it's so famous over here in USA, and he knows a lot about fighting. I tried to watch him a couple times, and after a few episodes I got like addicted. So every video I was going there and try to put subtitles, and my wife was helping me to understand, and that's the way that I learn English. That's why my English is not that good. I'm joking, but you know, I think I can do that. You know, I can try to like you say, to spread my version of the facts and my ideas about fighting, but it's really hard to put together the training, the rest, and everything that involves fighting, and do the podcast. But I think I'm gonna try to do more with the time. You know, right now I'm really busy because of the fight, but after the fight I'm gonna get back to the interviews and all that stuff.
That's good. I hope to see some more stuff on your YouTube channel. I was getting a kick out of some of that earlier.
Nice.
It was really great to talk to you, Renato. Thank you again. Before I let you go, any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to? Time is now.
Yeah, man. I want to give a big shout out to Psychedelic Water. We have been talking, and they are supporting me for my next fight. So huge shout out to Psychedelic Water. Go follow them on the Instagram and all the social media. And thank you so much for your time, for your interview, for the space. And that's it. Thank you, everybody.
All right, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll link all that in the description below. Renato, best of luck on June 26th. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full Man MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.